Hello, I'm Dr. Sanjay Panicker. Yes, homeopathy can treat anxiety without any side effects. There are excellent remedies like Aconite, Arsenicum Album, Ignatia, Natrum Muriaticum, Staphylococcus aureus, Pulsatilla, and Gelsemium, which are indicated in conditions like anxiety. But it is based on that situation or the type of anxiety that the patient has, that the symptom may vary from patient to patient, and based on that we select the remedy. Like for example, in Arsenicum Album, it is more an anxiety about some disease, about an infection which the person may get. It's an anxiety about things lying scattered, and then they don't want to see mess around. They want everything to be perfect and in order and systematic. So like that, there is a different level of anxiety in Arsenicum Album. Whereas in Aconite, it's an anxiety or a fear of death. They feel that what if something happens to me? And it is an immediate result of some kind of a shock that happens. Let us say the patient gets exposed to some situation where there is a shock, and there is a repercussion of that where the patient becomes unconscious. In such kind of a condition, a dose of Aconite can revive that particular patient. In Arsenicum Album, usually the anxiety is about health. They often keep thinking that maybe they have a heart disease or maybe they will die of cancer. These kind of thoughts keep coming into their mind. So, how much ever it is logically explained, they are not able to overcome that particular anxiety. In Silicea, another homeopathic remedy, usually the anxiety is about performance. They are more worried about whether they'll be able to perform well in their exams. I just said about exam, it can be that they are not able to perform well in their work. So that anxiety, anticipatory anxiety about performance, is a condition where Silicea may work. It is also indicated in other remedies like Argentum nitricum. It is also indicated in another remedy called Lycopodium. So there are so many remedies with these kind of similar symptoms, but the finer differentiation of how to differentiate which remedy to give in which type of patient, that I think a homeopathic doctor can do better. But anxiety can be treated like this. If you know what are the symptoms of the patient and why he is getting anxious and what type of anxiety it is, the remedies are different. It may not be one remedy which will just bring down the anxiety for when you use it, and it will come back when you stop it. It will be a remedy which will actually eradicate the whole issue so that it will not come again and again. So a regular usage of this medicine will help the patient to become more balanced, more calm, and less anxious. Yes, homeopathy does help in condition where the patient is experiencing nightmares. Now, nightmares can be either because there is a proper cause behind it, which the patient is aware about, some trigger which the patient had, some kind of a fear which happened, got into the subconscious, and then it is coming up in the dreams every time, waking up, having bad dreams, nightmares. So this can happen either with the knowledge of the patient, he is conscious about it, or sometimes it can be from the subconscious. Patient is not even aware why he is developing it. It can be because of some disturbances in his general health also. Like we often find small children suddenly having nightmares. Not necessary that they have faced something in their life situation that they felt so scared and then they started getting nightmares. Not necessarily. It can be that their general health is bad, they have a fever, or they are not well. Maybe they have some stomach ache or some digestive issues, and they're getting nightmares every time they are sleeping during that period. But once that health is restored, again they are fine. So it could be a health deterioration in the symptom of deteriorating health also. It can also be because of some stimulus, like there has been some shocking thing that has happened and he's getting it repeatedly in his dreams. Something in the subconscious. So it is important to identify what is the reason behind it. If it is something which has got into your head, then it is important to clean that. So there are remedies in homeopathy like Aconite, Arsenicum Album, the Caliphos, Passiflora, which can help you to calm down and reduce that kind of nightmares. Even calcare carb is excellent in nightmares of children, which can help you to overcome that particular situation. Yes, many people have this kind of anxiety about future, feel that something bad is going to happen, something negative will happen in their life, and that anxiety is burning them. Like for example, I've had patients who tell me that I'm always worried what will happen in the future, whether I lose my job, whatever wealth I have right now, will all that be gone? Will I go back to what I was in my previous days? Will I get into poverty? Will all my investments go waste? Could be a financial anxiety. It could be an anxiety about health. It could be an anxiety about some infection which might happen. It could be an anxiety about disaster that may happen in their life. It could be an anxiety about death or anything, which is negative that the patient is getting. And based on what is the kind of anxiety, the remedy is usually selected. One of the remedy among many remedies have many symptoms, but when you see the combination of the patient's emotional state, patient's personality type, stress levels, and the symptom that he has, then the remedy can be arrived at. The most common remedies for this kind of anticipatory anxiety about the future is usually Aconite, Ignatia, Arsenicum Album, Argentum Nitricum, and sometimes even sulfur does help in this kind of cases. Mood swings are quite common, especially in teenagers. It is more often encountered in sensitive people and more often in women too. Mood is controlled by certain hormones in your body, as you know. So, whenever there is any hormonal imbalance in the body, mood changes start manifesting. So, in teenage, there are a lot of hormonal changes that's happening in the body. And so you find teenagers suddenly becoming very anxious, suddenly becoming very irritated, suddenly becoming very depressed, suddenly becoming and the mood changes, So that is also seen in women, especially during periods, either before period, during period, or after period. They have certain emotions which they may experience. Again, it's also seen, during pregnancy, either before pregnancy or after pregnancy. When the hormones are withdrawn from the body during menopause, all these kind of hormonal changes is usually what affects the mood and the person becomes sensitive. So we have to see what is that hormonal imbalance which is being produced in the body and accordingly deal with it. Now, in menopause, we know that many women have this imbalance in their moods and they become very irritated, very depressed and all these things. So there are remedies like lacases, there are remedies like Ignatia, there are remedies like Natrum Muriaticum which can help this kind of changes in their life. Puberty, post-delivery and menopause. These are three phases in a woman's life where hormonal changes can bring about changes in their mood. In men, usually the mood changes are restricted to more commonly seen during their adolescent and in the 40s, around 40s and 50s. You can say a midlife crisis kind of situation where they experience mood changes. So these are all times when the body is undergoing certain hormonal fluctuations or hormonal changes. It can also happen if you are unwell, that you can develop you become very sensitive and then you may experience certain mood swings. So whatever the cause is, if you can identify that and treat it, it will tackle and sort out that particular issue. Very common mood changes are seen in patients with thyroid problems. So if you identify what is the hormone which is triggering it and you deal with it, then it gets cured.